Stand by, everybody.
What the f*** was that?
James, it's Valtteri.
There's something loose between my legs.
You mean like forever? I don't know.
Tripping major nutsack.
Come on!
No more radio for the rest of the race.
Hello everyone and welcome along to the reserve drivers after the Spanish Grand Prix.
Hola team, feliz de estar aquí.
Me podcast is su podcast. I'm Tim McDonald, he's Luke Rocker, and what can we say?
Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to listen to this statement.
That's right, Tim, because every comedy show wants to start with a prepared statement.
Lukey boy, we haven't prepared for 2 seasons. Why are we going to start now? Make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes and leave us a comment in the comments below. We've been loving your feedback.
What on earth are they doing?
And not all of your feedback. Keep it positive. What a weekend it was, Lukey boy. How would you sum up the Spanish Grand Prix?
What a frustrating race.
Listen, Tim, I don't want to be someone that goes, oh, it was better back in the 70s, okay? Mainly because I wasn't there. But, I mean, come on, that was a dry race, no? I'd rather sit through a full 2 hours of an esports race with George Russell commentating. Hell, I'd rather sit through the 2018 French Grand Prix. It was that boring. But hey, let's talk about the main man in Formula One right now. He was in a daze. He was in the zone. He's broken Michael Schumacher's record for podiums, 156 podiums. Lewis Hamilton, another victory.
156 ahead of Nico Hulkenberg, Lukey boy. I think he's got that sewn up.
That's a cheap shot, Tim. That's a cheap shot. Nico Hulkenberg fans, abuse Tim in the comments.
What a weekend it was for Hamilton, Lukey boy. I think Nico Rosberg summed it up best.
Hamilton is in a league of his own at the moment. He's putting the hammer down and disappearing into the distance.
Nico Rosberg broke the record for the most stuff-ups in a single sentence as well, so it was a double victory.
But it was another dominant performance from Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes. And what we love about Mercedes, Tim, and I know you're a keen one on this, is how humble they are in victory.
When you have such a great win, you can properly rub it in.
That's what it's about.
Ah, yes, the Toto Wolff story. Proper rubbing it in since 2014.
They're still the underdogs though, Lukey boy. Red Bull
Always.
still got the upper hand over Mercedes.
Always.
But there were more records breaking at the Spanish Grand Prix, Lukey boy.
Kimi Raikkonen now holds the record for the greatest distance raced in Formula One.
Congratulations, Kimi Raikkonen, the world record for the greatest distance raced in Formula One.
The greatest thing about Kimi breaking that record, Tim, is that it's a record that he would give the least amount of shits about. And that's saying something for Kimi not to care.
Well, let's ask him ourselves, Lukey boy, because in a reserve drivers exclusive, the Iceman himself, Kimi Raikkonen. What a pleasure it is to have you with us on the reserve drivers.
Obviously.
Fantastic for you to take time out to join us. Obviously, you've become the most experienced driver on the Formula One grid. 83,000 kilometres raced. That's a long way.
Well, obviously it is a very long way, but it is obviously not as long as it takes me to answer interview questions.
I think we're just about to lose the satellite there, Kimi.
Obviously, I could speak a bit faster, but at the moment I do not have the pace, so we try to improve the pace, but I can only speak as fast as this at the moment, obviously.
Yeah, we'll put the full interview on the website, Lukey boy. I don't think we have time. We've got to move on.
Kimi, surely Reserve Drivers is your favourite YouTube channel.
We'll take that as a comment. There was some great news out of the weekend, Lukey boy.
Perez back in racing trim, finally tested negative for COVID and is feeling absolutely fit.
Sergio's negative. It's wonderful news, although I think he might have passed it on to some of the other drivers.
I'm positive coming into this weekend. We need to always be positive.
I think it was a positive Friday. I think overall it was a positive day.
Things are looking relatively positive. That's looking positive. Just try and stay positive, you know?
There's officially a cluster now, I believe. Gee, the midfield's close this year, Lukey boy.
Hey, you know what they say about Sergio? He leaves it all out on track. Look, the race wasn't exciting. You know it, I know it, we all know it. But thank goodness for Max Verstappen and his team radio for adding a little bit of spice in Spain.
You want me to repeat it again? This tire is dead. How about we just focus on our race first, yeah? Because clearly on this soft tire we were not as fast as them.
Get your head down, Max, please.
A fiery Max Verstappen on team radio yet again, giving it to his race day engineer, GP. And for those that don't know what GP looks like, we've got a photo. Yes, he's Max Verstappen's punching bag. Poor GP had to deal with it again. Hey, Tim, just an update for you. Did you know WTF won 10 positions ahead in the charts? Beyond the Grid gets at least 200,000 more views than us.
Lukey boy, why don't we just run our own podcast, all right? Let's not worry about what those other ones are doing, all right? We're clearly not competitive.
Get your head down, Tim.
Tough weekend for Renault, Lukey boy. That's fast becoming a catchphrase. Tough weekend for the boys in yellow, which was surprising because in testing at the Circuit de Barcelona de Catalunya, they were on fire, as Rosanna Tennant put it.
Morning glory went to the purple-helmeted honey badger.
You can't be saying that, Rosanna.
Rosanna, please.
When your purple-helmeted honey badger has morning glory, you can't be saying that at all. We especially won't be rubbing it out if we've got morning glory with a purple-helmeted honey badger. You can't say that.
I've never rubbed out a purple-helmeted morning glory honey badger, okay? Never.
So it was a dismal weekend for Renault, Lukey boy. A lot of people saying their preparation wasn't as professional as it could have been. I don't think that's quite right. They were visualising a lap around Barcelona before the weekend, Loki boy. And even visualising they appear to have car troubles.
Gone wide there.
Even an imaginary Renault has problems with the front end. Do we know what Ocon was visualising? But the Renault boys weren't the only ones visualising over the weekend. Lukey boy and I sat down and visualised watching the Spanish Grand Prix.
Speaking of Renault, I have been keeping tabs on their driver for next year, the legend himself, Fernando Alonso. And Tim, would you like to see how he's training and staying fit for Formula One?
Doesn't involve a purple-helmeted honey badger, does it?
It doesn't, but here is Fernando staying busy.
Up. That is a lesson. You cannot get on the concrete berm.
See, this is why you visualise. This is why you visualise.
He didn't visualise a concrete berm in Indy. Tim, Daniel Kvyat was not happy with Williams driver Nicholas Latifi, who apparently got in Daniel's way and he let loose.
Look at this fucking clown. This guy's a fucking idiot.
Not a good rap for Latifi from Daniel Kvyat, but Latifi, to his credit, hit back where it counts.
On track.
On Instagram.
Whoa. When you realise we are both on a high fuel run doing consecutive laps and I have every right to maintain my track position. Who's the clown for complaining about that?
Fighting words from Latifi as he accuses Kvyat of dodgy behaviour himself.
And Latifi commented that about 7/10 after Danny Kvyat posted it. So even on Instagram he's struggling.
Now, Tim, you and I know Daniel Kvyat.
Friendski of the show.
A Friendski of the show indeed, but he does have a bit of a darker edge. And I worry for Latifi, especially after seeing this video leaked online. Oh no, they've got to him. Kvyat has pulled some strings.
Latifi's been Kvyat napped.
Oh no. If ever there was a sign that we've been locked at home, it's this show.
Yeah. Is that a hostage or stage 4 in Melbourne, Lukey boy?
We need to get out.
There wasn't a lot of action out on track, but there was plenty off it, so it's time for the return of...
Like a fruit machine at an arcade.
Like Pavlov's dog liquor, ferret in surgery.
Like the inside of a ball of mozzarella cheese.
Like an octopus fighting an octopus.
Almost like asking a goat to remain within jabbing distance of a T-Rex.
What's the old phrase, Crofty?
I've got balls, but none of them is crystals.
It's like a caged tiger. It's like a quiet boy.
Like a whale.
Like he's got razor blades on his elbows.
Metaphorically, doesn't he?
Meta Formula One. This segment generated a lot of heat last week, Lukey boy.
There were more than 6 comments in our comments section about it.
Don't forget, you can leave a metaphor to describe this show in the comments below. No time to muck around, Lukey boy. Got a lot of metaphors to get to. It was a big weekend of Meta Formula One action, Lukey boy. Martin Brundle kicked things off.
I feel a bit like I'm trussed up like a Christmas turkey here. We've got some junk in the trunk as well, Nico.
Christmas turkey. That is a classic metaphor. And if you want to know what junk in Nico's trunk looks like...
So we're going to try and get you some new angles on this thing.
There it is. I've broken the record. That is my 84,000th Nico Vlogsberg GoPro up the arse joke. I've broken the record.
It's the equivalent of being rickrolled. Instead, it's been inserted. Great start, Tim, showing no signs of a great segment hangover. Continue.
Although I've just got word from the Meta Formula One stewards, Lukey boy, that they are investigating a Meta Formula incident involving Karun Shandong.
The team are on the radio to Lewis Hamilton as well, by the way, just keeping him abreast of Verstappen's pace. This is a cat and mouse situation. They're all waiting. Mercedes have 2 dogs in the fight.
Yeah, that's a mixed metaphor. That is a mixed metaphor. That is the black and white Meta Formula One flag.
You are not allowed to mix metaphors on Meta Formula One.
What did Martin Brundle have to say?
To a 3-horse race.
It can't be a 3-horse race if you're bringing dogs to the fight of the cat and mouse game.
Old MacDonald had a farm.
EIEI, no. That is a 5-place grid penalty for a mixed metaphor. Let's see if Sky F1's David Croft can get things back on track with this metaphor about the hard tyre.
1.7 seconds on average slower per lap and offering you the grip of, Bambi on that winter's day when he went skating.
25 points, David Croft. That is a wonderful metaphor. It is as icy as Bambi on the ice.
That was pretty much the feedback I think the drivers were giving on Friday.
Yeah, with a few colourful words to go with it.
Yeah, but Bambi was a family film. I didn't want to put the choice words in.
Well, when you say family film...
I've got no grid. Shut up.
It's been a while since I've seen Bambi, Lukey Boy, but it's definitely not a family film.
Bringing out the big guns.
And just a reminder, if you are going to bring a deer to the dog to the cat and mouse fight, hold your horses, everybody. Hold your horses.
Also, I'd argue that your ending to Bambi is a lot nicer than what actually happens.
Do we know what happened to Bambi?
Tim, there's so much tension, gossip. It's all happening in the paddock, especially between team bosses from Racing Point and McLaren. Zach Brown had a go at Otmar Szafnauer with the whole Racing Point fiasco, and Otmar was not happy. He said, Zach Brown, it's BS. He's not an engineer. He's got no idea what he's talking about. He knows more about historic racing than he does Formula One. Shots were fired, Tim.
That's a bit rich coming from Racing Point because their whole principle is historic racing. They're racing in the 2019s.
Well, Tim, you've jumped the gun here because, yes, you have. Borderline ruining my joke, but that's okay because Otmar threw a jab, but Zach Brown came right back with a searing right hook in what I'm calling slam down of the year.
In my time here leading McLaren, I've never been fined $1. Let alone 400,000. I've never been docked points. And as far as historic racing, I'd invite Otmar to come join me because he's got a historic car that he's currently racing.
Brown from downtown. There is tension aplenty between certain team bosses. It is not pretty. But I tell you where there is one ray of light, and that is the friendship between team bosses Toto Wolff and Fred Vasseur.
Of course, the brains behind Alfa Romeo Orlen, Lukey Boy.
And him and Toto go way back. How do I know this, you ask? Well, I sat down to listen to Beyond the Grid, the best Formula One podcast out there, okay?
Hey, Lukey Boy, why don't we just focus on our own podcast? Let's not worry about Beyond the Grid, all right? We're not competitive.
Okay, keep your purple helmeted head down, all right? Okay. Have a listen to how Fred met Toto, as told by Fred Vasseur.
When did you first meet him? Can you remember?
Yeah, it was 2001 or 2002. Yeah, 2002 perhaps. Very clever guy, very dedicated to performance, human performance.
Did you kick back, drink the beer, watch the football, leave the pizza boxes on the floor? How did it work?
No, I was alone, and sometimes I had the dinner with Toto, and I stay 1 or 2 nights with Toto. Not with Toto, we were not sharing the same room.
Oh, Fred and Toto, what a story. Roommates from years gone by. And it's funny because I did a bit of research and I came across this. That's right, there is a Team Bosses Gone Wild uncut VHS copy, and I got my hands on it. Now, for research purposes, I watched it, okay? And let me tell you, there's this great scene where Toto Wolff uses his dual-axis system. That's a good one. Oh, and there's also this part where Christian Horner has multiple 21 orgasms. That's a good one. Although they blurred the gunt. I don't know why they did that. They pixelated the gunt.
Did they show any purple helmeted honey badgers, Lukey Boy?
That was in the race director's commentary, actually. So back to Fred on the #1 Formula One podcast, Beyond the Grid. Fred Vasseur is actually more of a mover and shaker in F1 than you think. And there's some big things in store. At least Tom Clarkson thinks so.
The FIA is looking for a new president.
Wow!
I'm not saying now, Fred. I'm not saying next year.
So Fred not having a bar of it, he had his own off. He does not want anything to do with being FIA president, that's for sure. But you may have heard then Fred's affectionate laugh, and we need more of this in F1.
We need more of this in this podcast.
Well, yes, that's true enough. That's not a Meta Formula One, that's just fact. So I took the liberty of doing a public service for everybody and compiling Fred Vasseur laughing. Enjoy.
If I tell you fitness, you won't trust me. My biggest commitment is with my wife. Huh?
Yeah. Do you know your wedding anniversary, Fred? Because that's an important moment.
31st of July 99.
Okay, good.
My assistant put it on my diary. Thanks to Anita.
Thanks, Anita. Thanks, Fred Vasseur. We need more of him in F1.
His wife Toto is going to be very unhappy with him when he gets home.
Tim, we have to spend a lot of time at home, so naturally we're looking for ways to pass the time.
Team Boss is uncut. We're going to be rubbing it out, I believe.
No, Pierre Gasly has a better alternative.
Hey, it's Pierre. I have a quick challenge for you guys to do at home. Let's see how good you are at juggling. Send your videos and we'll pick up the best one to use on our social channels.
Challenge accepted, Pierre.
Yeah, we can jungle with the best of them. What is he talking about?
So Pierre laid down the challenge. He did 55 jungles, and on behalf of the reserve drivers, Tim, I stepped up to the plate.
Hi, this is Luke from the reserve drivers, and this is the Alpha Tauri Soccer Challenge.
Suck on it, Pierre. You got 55, I got a strong 60.
Sorry, Lucky boy, just getting word from the stewards. Did you actually do 60?
Look, I read the regulations, I read the rules, and there was nothing in there disallowing editing. Okay, and for anyone who thinks I'm cheating...
I've never cheated at anything in my life.
And that's true, okay?
And if you think you can beat Lucky boy, send in your entries to the AlphaTauri Reserve Drivers Juggling Competition. Of course, Lucky boy, the Spanish Grand Prix belonged to one man and one man only, Nico Vlogsberg. We mentioned him at the top of the show, and if you need a reminder as to who Nico Vlogsberg is, you're not alone. Have a look at this journalist from a World Tech Conference who had no idea who Nico was.
Your name for the tape, please. Sorry. Great. Nico, great. Thank you very much.
Formula One world champion.
Brilliant. Yeah, thank you very much. I thought I recognised you. Thank you.
Ooh, that was painful.
That's how I actually introduce myself when I'm out and stuff like that. Luke Rocker, reserve driver.
I always go with the line,
hello, my name's Damon.
For me, it's either Formula One champion or purple helmeted honey badger.
Well, Nico Vlogsberg and Martin Brundle were talking all weekend, Lukey boy, about what Valtteri Bottas can do to unsettle Lewis Hamilton, as Nico Vlogsberg famously did.
You tried that. You tried a funny little trick up the escape road in Monaco in qualifying and all sorts of things.
Careful there, Martin, please. Huh? You're going into areas where we need to kind of avoid.
Areas we need to avoid. We're not going to avoid them. It's time to take a trip down memory pit lane. This is what you get from a topical F1 podcast, forensic analysis on an incident from 2014. Let's go back to Monaco. Let's go back to qualifying. What did Nico Vlogsberg do?
But going down to Mirabeau, Rosberg made a bit of a mistake, locked the brakes up and went down the slip road. That meant the yellow flags came out, and Lewis Hamilton was caught in those yellow flags, and in the end had to back off, so his lap was gone as well.
So yellow, yellow, turn 5. Yellow, yellow, turn 5.
That was very good of him.
How about that, Nico Vlogsberg, Lukey boy?
That's scandal. That's hot. I've actually never seen or heard about that before.
Nico Vlogsberg sabotaging Lewis Hamilton's qualifying. Naturally, of course, Nico was contrite after the incident.
I'm really, really happy though that it worked out.
Yeah, maybe not contrite. Maybe not contrite.
Hey, we haven't seen sabotage like that since you jumped all over my joke earlier on.
Again, I'm just happy it worked out. I'm happy it worked out. Nico wasn't saying much. Lewis wasn't saying much. So it was up to this man.
Let's ask a double world champion what he thinks of it. Lewis is clearly unhappy, Mika Hakkinen. Nice to have you with us.
Mika Hakkinen, Lukey boy. There he is there with a very young, smooth operator and a very old Damon Hill.
Old Hackers himself, huh?
Old Hackers Hakkinen, Lukey boy. Let's get his hot take on the big qualifying incident.
What did you think of the incident?
Well, I would not like to comment too much. I think it's better to drivers to really to give them a personal opinion. But there's a big motions going on for sure about the situation. Motor racing is like that, you know, things happening, incidents are happening. But I felt that motor racing has to be fair. Safety issues in the mind that way you don't hurt anybody. When I started with the David Coulthard, it's always tough with the teammates. But still, you know. Better not to say too much.
Better not to say too much. Better not to say too much. Keep stum, Mika Häkkinen. You can read the full interview on our website.
What is it about clips from history with drivers or engineers blabbering on that just is so funny?
Let's ask Mika Häkkinen.
No, let's not. Let's not.
That's it for the reserve drivers, Lukey boy. We've got to jump out of here.
I've got a VHS to watch.
What did the audience think of that episode? Make sure you leave a metaphor in the comments below.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing.
And thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to listen to this statement.
Better not to say too much.